This is one of my next little projects. The frame for the hood, for the top. It's in really good shape. It has some surface rust on it and needs repainted, sandblasted and repainted. So that's all we're gonna do to it. Well, that certainly looks a lot better. So I'm kind of running out of projects for this week because, well, I've needed to put in an order for some parts. It's all the little things that have accumulated that I still need to finish the car and get it through control technique. So I've been putting it off as long as possible as I go through other projects to make sure that, you know, I don't miss a screw here or a bolt there or whatever. So it's kind of gotten to the point where I'm running out of stuff to do. So I thought, while I have the time, I would tackle some of these little projects. This is one of those things, putting the carpet in, a little carpet piece in here. It's not a big deal. It just needs cut and fit in place, and I'm gonna glue it. So kind of preparing to put the convertible top on, the hood if you prefer, but I need a new bow for the hood, and that's coming, so I'm trying to get everything else done while I wait for that. Now, as you can see, I put the glue just on the metal part of this piece, the panel. So it's not glued to the car. So if that panel ever has to come out, it won't rip up the carpet. You have to pull it back a bit to get the screws out, but I think it's a good compromise between gluing it all down and not gluing it down at all. Here's a job I did just for my wife. She insisted that I put seatbelts in it. This car originally did not come with seatbelts. Seatbelts were an option, and this car didn't have it. It has one of the mounting brackets on the tunnel, transmission tunnel back here, which is kind of a bell-shaped flange thingy that adds some extra beef to the attachment point. And really it's quite simple. I took a 1/2-inch bolt, 9/16 bolt, that's the size of the wrench that goes on it, and put it through the end of the seat belt, put some washers on it, put it through, and then on the bottom put a washer and a nylock on it to hold it in place. The other half is going to be a little bit more complicated. It requires a special bracket that's coming from the parts store. So when it gets here, I can finish it up. In the meantime, there it is. This funny thing is called the bow. It's part of the convertible top, the hood for the British. It's a wooden piece. It has these two clamps on either side that attach to the windshield, and then it has this aluminum piece that kind of clips in the front of the windshield and holds it in place. I've already taken the screws out and started cleaning that part up. This is the actual fabric of the top. I cut it off just so I could, just for handling reasons. There was no way I was going to reuse it anyway, so I just ripped it off so I could have a good look at the top and the condition of stuff. And as you can see, it's not in very good shape. The end is all rotted away. It's pretty soft through here. Somebody's gone through and put some silicone on it at some point, which is interesting. Basically, to install the top, you put this frame, this bow on the windshield and clamp it down. Then you take the hood and attach it to the back and stretch it forward, and then staple it along the front, and then this funny strip goes over it to cover up the staples and things. So I have the new hood, the new top. I have this piece. What I don't have yet is this wooden bow. So what I'm going to do, one thing I can do without this, is to go ahead and install the back part, because you attach it to the back and then you stretch it to the front. So I can start with that. So that's what I'm going to do now. So in the box comes that piece of trim that covers things, and all of these bits, which should look very familiar. It even includes nails, so you can do it without staples. Also is the top itself. Now the way we're going to start this process is to find the center in the back, and then start putting in the fasteners one at a time, so that it lays down nice and tight, but not too tight, and work from the center out. So there's the center mark. How did I find it? Pretty easy. I folded the top in half and marked it with chalk. Now I'll find the center of the car and mark it as well. There, now I don't know if you can see it very well, but to mark the car, I put a piece of masking tape down. I measured from here to here and put a mark. I also checked from the center of the trunk hinges, and again from the outside, from the fender stripe thingy. Losing my words. Okay, so now that I know where center is, I know where the top is supposed to be positioned, so I can start marking where each one of these goes. I believe I've shown you how I did this on the tonneau cover, so it's really the same process. Repeat it on the top. You just knock a hole in it with one of these, put that in, and screw this on the back. Do want to make sure I get this kind of centered in the seam. I think it looks pretty good. When my dad bought the top for the last top I put on the Sprite, the white one, it came with a tool to tighten these. Unfortunately, I can't find it because it was 30-some years ago. So I'm just using this pair of pliers. They're kind of rounded off on the end. They fit really well into these holes, and you can just twist it around. running on like this until you get all the fasteners on. It's like Christmas time. Well, actually it almost is, but yesterday I stayed home to collect a delivery of hopefully the last bits and bobs I need. Well, till this project is complete. You know, they're never really fully complete, but anyway, lots of good stuff here. I got a new flasher because my flasher is not working. You need turn signals to pass control technique. It's MOT for the British. I got a license plate frame for the front because I need a front license plate. For the top, I got this webbing stuff and a new bow. You can see up there. Got some seatbelt anchors. New washer pump. You can't pass control technique without washer pump. Clean your windows. One of the other things I got was my engine is not the original one. It should be a tri-carb configuration, but it's just it's a dual carb from the later model. The later model has choke cable bracket thing that is different configuration than mine. The way mine's set up, it was set up by the previous, well, some guy down the road who put it in. It just is using the single cable to choke one of the carbs. It makes it kind of hard to start when it's really cold. So I'm going to modify the choke system to match the engine. It doesn't match the car per se, but it will match the engine. Other little bits and bobs, I don't know, just stuff I was missing. These are friction discs. They go on the doors, the special things that hold the doors open. I don't know if mine are missing or just completely worn out, but I thought it'd be a good idea to put some new ones in because the doors don't stay open. Yeah, so that's most of it. Feels like Christmas. I can finally wrap up these little projects that have been lingering in the back of my mind. So with all these wonderful things to do, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Change the flasher. It's a simple, well, should be a simple project with nice rewards. So let's get started. So this is the assembly. We have 2 holes here that bolt it to the firewall, and a hole here that the choke cable comes out of. So this needs to go right here, centered on the VIN number plaque, and drill 3 holes into the nice shiny firewall to attach it. part B of the seatbelt, and stabbed myself. These quick release pins, well, the whole buckle, the whole bracket thing is it's pretty expensive. They're $25 a piece. And this quick release cable that's holding this to this, which looks very necessary, it just has frayed wire on it. And stabbed myself. There's nothing worse than stabbing yourself with this wire. It kind of hurts like a paperclip. So if you install these, I highly recommend putting some electrical tape over it, because ouch. I can't even do that without stabbing myself. It is installed. You can see that. Well, I didn't get to the point of putting the hood, the convertible top on, but I got a lot of little stuff done today. Got the seatbelts installed, front license plate bracket in. The doors will stay open by themselves. It turns out that there wasn't any friction disc left at all. There's just metal to metal. Got the choke working, so it starts really well, even when the battery's kind of low, as you might have heard. I like days like this when doing a bunch of little stuff, getting it checked off the list. Next week I'll tackle the hood and see what else needs to be doing.
If you like this video, click the like button below. If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want to make sure Google reminds you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Your support is very much appreciated.